I feel so excited to have with us today Opeyemi Olaifa. Thank you very much for coming on board.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
It's a
So nice to hear.
privilege. Yeah, it's a privilege seeing you after how many years now?
That's like 7 years or more.
Oh,
Yes.
interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Let's have a quick recap of the 7 years, if you don't mind. Hmm. How
Wow,
7 years been?
a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can like just simply brief that. So after school, which was like the 7 years, I mean NYC as usual,
Yeah.
and I mean just like every other graduates, getting a job was like a very huge task. But
Hmm.
after like few months, less than a year, I got a job in a software company as like a project manager.
Okay.
So I had to do a lot of reading because I was coming from like the computer science background.
Oh,
But the good thing was it was a software company, so I was not entirely out of what I
okay.
studied because I was interfacing with programmers that were coding and developing the software. All I needed to do was understand the flow and
All
then
right.
pitch it to the customer. And then
Yeah.
after the development as well, try to explain the flow, do some documentations and ensure deliverables are submitted.
Wow.
So basically I did that for like a year and like about 6 months.
Hmm.
In 2019, I quitted the job because I was tired.
Interesting.
And I was tired. I feel like that was not exactly what I wanted to do because I'm
Hmm.
more hands-on than just doing paperwork.
Hmm.
So I got another job in a cybersecurity firm. That was like January 2020.
Hmm.
And that was where it all started,
Oh,
the
it's
whole
happening.
cybersecurity journey. And I'm still here. Here we are, still in the same company, trying
Wow.
to grow and do cybersecurity, basically.
Oh, that's really nice. I think you really provided a very good summary of a 7 year journey. Yeah. Yeah, but let me now go a little deeper into our conversation this afternoon. All right, let me begin by
Okay.
asking, who is Opeyemi Olaifa?
Hmm. Who is okay with Olefa? I don't think it's so much to know about me. I'm actually very simple to read. So basically, it's just a young girl that wants to have a better life and wants to live the luxury life she imagined in her head. So because of that, she's working so much, trying to acquire um, a lot of certifications, knowledge,
Hmm.
doing her work to the best of her abilities, just so could give her the life that she has always prayed for.
Hmm.
And give her the comfort that she wants for herself and her family. So basically, that's Opeyemi Life. I don't know if I'm supposed to go a little bit personal, but
That's fine. That's
it's
fine.
just
That,
more
that
professional career than any part of my social life. So basically,
that's a very good one. So happy to hear that. So now let's talk a bit about your background. Why did you pursue computer science, I think?
yeah. So why did I pursue computer science? I mean, I'm not going to come here and lie and say, oh, I always had it figured out. Always
Yeah.
had it figured out from secondary school. I wanted to pursue computer science. That's not true.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I was a science student in secondary school, but then I didn't have my A game along my science courses, especially chemistry. So that was like a little bit of a problem. But then I knew that, I mean, everybody knew I loved mathematics.
Okay.
Like it was like my strength. My family knew, my teachers in school, they knew I loved mathematics and all.
Hmm.
So when I wrote my exam, that was the West African examination exam, the WAEC thing in Nigeria.
Okay.
And my result came out. I mean, it was that year that most people actually failed mathematics.
Wow.
But then I still like passed maths, and I think I had like a little bit of a lower grade in chemistry. It was
Hmm.
not that bad, but I mean, compared to every other science courses that I did. So I had a conversation with my parents and they were like, okay, what would you like to do? Just like the way everybody used to follow the multitude then. You want to either do medicine or you want to do one science laboratory, technology thing and all. So, I mean, when I was going to fill my jump, I also filled the old science laboratory technical thing. I picked like two
Interesting.
universities and, and that was it. So I went for like post jump in like the two universities I picked, of which I passed one. But I mean, because I didn't have like the right people to help me internally, I didn't get the admission. And then the second one, I think right from the jump level, I actually did not make the cutoff of the course I was
Oh.
looking for. So I had to stay at home for a year.
Mm.
And while staying at home, definitely I had to rewrite some. I wasn't considering rewriting my wife because of the chemistry, because I don't think I'd have done any better. It was just a weak point. So
Mm.
while I was trying to write a jump again, so I kind of sat down with my dad one day to see what is your strength. Okay, mathematics, it is right. Okay, let's try to look for courses around mathematics,
Mm.
but not mathematics that
Okay.
you could do because and so that was where the whole computer science thing came out. And that was actually because my parents was very invested in the career each of us, that means the children, wanted to pursue.
Mm.
So I decided to take mathematics and computer science and then look at applying to a private university, as my dad said he could, you know, take me to a private university, which I
Wow.
was upset about, by the way.
Interesting.
I didn't want to go to a
Which
private
many
university.
people are looking forward to having to going to a private university.
I'm telling you, I actually didn't want to come to a private university. I was the one always saying no private university to any of my friends that way.
Interesting.
So, so I had to apply to a private university. Apparently, the private university just come that easy. I think I did my jump and I actually got lower than 200.
Oh, okay.
So he said I couldn't afford me staying home again for another year because that was
Mm.
kind of like messing with me. That's so I should just try going to like a private uni. And that was what brought about going university that I attended, where I
Interesting.
met the almighty Mr. Iditoye. So, so I picked mathematics and computer science, wrote my entrance exam and all. And my dad was like, oh, computer science, right? Like, don't do mathematics. It's just too streamlined. Try to do computer science. It's broader. But I
Mm.
was quietly praying that it's mathematics I want, but I did
Mm.
not say it.
Mm.
So when I did the exam and then the result came out, I actually had mathematics
Wow.
and not computer science.
Oh,
So the result came out and you were like, oh yeah, mathematics, not computer science. And my dad was like, okay, mathematics. If you do mathematics, where can you work? What can you do? I mean, we're not very clear on, regardless of wherever you
career
graduate
path.
with,
Excellent.
you can always change and all. I mean,
Okay.
we that knowledge gap. So computer science would be better because you will be able to do mathematics in computer science
Fine.
as well as other things. And it kind of, I didn't really have any issues with it because I loved computer as well.
Okay.
Started practicing computer at a very young age. My parents got it for us and all. So, anyways, we went back to the school and I told them of the fact that did I meet the computer science cutoff? They said yes, but it was just like I met mathematics as well, and I was assuming I had more score in mathematics, which was why they gave it to me. So
Okay.
they didn't have any issues actually giving me computer science.
Into science. Wow.
So they gave me computer science. I think that was
And
like basic
information technology. Again,
and information technology, and
yeah.
that was how I ended up in computer science and
Wow. That's really
information
interesting.
technology. So that was like the background, and since then, I
Mm.
mean, I thank God for that decision because
Mm.
I wouldn't have preferred any other course, to be
Mm.
honest.
The
So that
decision,
was how the whole
the decision
background thing
was
started.
not taken by yourself. The decision was taken through God and the influence of your parents, I guess.
Yes, because I actually did not know exactly what I wanted to do then. So I needed that guidance as
Yeah.
well.
But now I
And
think,
I guess I was lucky because
okay.
some people would say they got into a field that they didn't want to because of their parent. But I think my
Mm.
parent kind of understood my strength and just gave me advice from that point. And I think I'm grateful for that.
That's fine. That's fine. That's really nice. When you are very close with your parents and they are guiding you on the right path, you achieve results like you're achieving right now. So happy about that. Yeah. So you are more into cybersecurity. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the moment. And recently I just stumbled that you had an award 2023. Excellent Leadership Award. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So I want to ask what's really inspired you in picking up career paths in cybersecurity, and what's your motivation?
Okay, so I'm just going to say, God has been part of my journey all through.
Mm,
Even times I didn't know what to do, things would just always align, right, in my favor. So, like I said, when I left school, I wanted a job badly because I wanted to like break away from the asking for money at home. And I got like the very first job, prayer management, and I took it because I
Was
just didn't want to sit at home.
was it bad hacking money at home? I'm just asking.
It wasn't bad, but
Okay,
I just felt okay. I during my NYSC, I was able to take care of myself for a whole year without asking for nothing. So
okay.
I felt if I'd started that then, I don't want to finish the NYSC, come back and start asking for money again. I'm just going
Okay.
to keep it going from there and not ask for money. If they decide to give me, fine, but I just wanted to be independent.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't want to start bugging them again. I mean, so that was why. So I started for a management job. I was doing it. It was fun. It was interesting. It exposed me to a lot in terms of public speaking, in terms of communication. I get to face like clients that were like in higher position,
Mm,
and I was like the main person in the company because it wasn't like a very big company.
mm,
All the other developers were like remote, so I was like the only physical staff apparently.
okay.
So, and my boss had like quite a number of things he was doing. Sometimes he would go with me to these places, and sometimes he would just let me do the handling.
Mm,
So, I was put on the spot several times, and I
mm,
had to just fit in.
mm,
So, that kind of sharpened me quicker than I thought. But
mm.
then I was having to deal with people, project management, and dealing with people is not one of the easiest things.
I agree with
it
you.
was it was frustrating me at some point. I'm like, okay, Amy, is this really what you want to do? I don't think I want to just do the paperwork. I want to actually be hands-on. And
Mm,
back then I could program
that's
to
fine.
quite an extent. So I thought programming was it
Mm,
for me. So I started to go back to try to learn programming and all. However, I informed my friends of the challenge I was facing at my work that I wasn't really finding pleasure doing what I was doing and all.
mm.
So then an opportunity came by to apply in a cybersecurity firm
All right.
without no background in
Mm,
cybersecurity. And I was like, okay, cybersecurity. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't actually know so much about cybersecurity after school.
fine.
I can't
Initially,
remember I can't remember being taught that.
excellent.
I can't remember being taught that. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, cybersecurity, what's this cybersecurity about? Then I decided to make my research. I started making my research online. And then I realized that I had a friend that was also working in a cybersecurity firm, one of the big fours.
Mm,
So I decided to pick my phone and like call him as well. Like, okay, what's this cybersecurity thing about? I've read this and this and this, but I mean, these are just theoretical knowledge. Tell me, how's your typical day like?
mm,
What are the things that you do? Then he told me, and he was able to like, explain some things to me. And then when I read, I realized how much of information we actually gather. Plus, I was coming from a software company
background. Okay.
as a project manager. We were developing software. And then when I started reading and I kind of started having some understanding as to why some of the things that we developed that way
Yeah.
when I was in my previous company could have given us like issues because there was no cybersecurity incorporated to
Mm,
the software that was developed. So I was like, okay, I think this is something I want to explore.
mm,
Plus, it's not hands-on. I'm going to have to get my hands dirty on the on the
mm,
laptop. I'm not just going to be writing. Plus,
mm,
it's so hands-on and all. And I was going to take it. I was so ready to take the job that I told myself, if they said they were not going to pay me for the first 6 months, I was actually going to take it.
interesting.
As long as I got that knowledge I needed at that moment.
That's
So
brilliant.
yes. And that was why I just went for the job and then I took the job and here we are. So
Wow.
basically how I crossed to cybersecurity. And
Mm,
since then, it's
yeah.
just been, I could have quitted at some point as I say, no, this is not it for me. But no,
Mm,
that's not what it is. I mean, the joy that you get when you kind of safeguard people's data,
mm,
you secure the environment from like the bad guys out there, from like having access to information, fraud, move money and all. It's just very fulfilling when
mm,
you realize you just actually blocked access to something that could have cost an organization like
mm.
huge amounts of money and all. And then since then, it's been very interesting and something I look forward to doing every day.
And I guess you're happy doing what you are doing.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So what's the motivation?
What's the motivation? I think I had gave an hint about it in the beginning.
Yeah.
So aside the fact that it's fulfilling to see that you can actually protect people from like you can protect their information from like another thing is it's a I think every human being has that part where whatever it is they want to do to has to be something that can fetch them as much money as they need. And I realized it's one of like the vibrant field in IT as well while making my research then.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, I can actually like protect people and also not protect myself and get enough money for myself as well. So the motivation is I want to, or the motivation has been that I enjoy protecting, data from people that
Bad
are
guy.
ready to steal it, as well as I think it's a very active field that would put you on your toes all the time.
That's
You would
fine.
always have to develop yourself. You can't just be there
That's
and
fine.
just keep doing what you're doing. You have to keep advancing because it evolves like every now and then.
That's
As we all
fine.
know that even the people on the dark web are trying as much as possible to like learn new things every day. So yeah, it gives me that chance to also improve myself. And my
Fine.
organization also has a part of it whereby they enroll you for some certifications as
That's
a
great.
result of being with them.
That's
And it
great.
was like a plus for me. So yeah, those were really my
Wow, that's really inspiring, transiting from a project manager to a cybersecurity expert. All right, now let's talk about challenges on your path to greatness. I know you must have experienced one or two, and I would just like you to share with us and how you were able to overcome such.
challenges on my path to greatness. I
Mm.
think I think they were like when I was doing my project management job, when I was a project manager, there was one time, I think that was the point I started getting frustrated about it, that I was supposed to deliver a software and we all know the way these developers are. They tell you like tomorrow, then tomorrow is tomorrow. And the developer told me tomorrow. I already added my own 2 or 3 days as well to that
Okay.
tomorrow. And uh still he didn't meet up to it. And then I called this client, a lady, and I was trying to explain to her, and she just went on and on.
Mm,
Do you want me to babysit you? Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? And I was actually just trying to like explain to her, why is it not being delivered? She just spoke very rudely. After I dropped that call, I actually cried. That's no, I don't want to deal with human beings again. I don't want to deal with it. So that was like a very challenging thing for me. I lost it at that point
mm,
that I could have just quitted that day.
mm.
And it was very challenging, but I just thought about it like I'm not going to quit the job without having nothing else because I was already living like an independent lifestyle. So
Mm.
what was I going to like go back to? It was not like the salary was all great.
Yeah.
It was my first job after NYC, and most companies would not accept you're very lucky. They would assume you don't have like the work experience from school,
Yeah.
that they still need to train you. So they come up with like peanuts at the beginning.
Mm,
So that was very challenging, but how was I able to navigate through the situation? I think I just needed to like call myself back and like tell myself, okay, you know what? Just hang on
mm.
while you try to get that thing that you want to get, and then you would move to it. The other major challenge of that I faced was crossing from project management to like cybersecurity. I was
Security.
scared.
Mm, mm,
I questioned that decision so many times. I'm like,
mm,
is this the right thing? You're already in project management for like
mm,
1.5 years.
mm.
This is the point where every other person have figured out what they're doing. Whoever wanted to be programming in a certain language had already started.
Mm,
Whoever wanted to do any other thing had already started.
mm,
Switching a career path at this point, is it really what you wanted? Plus, I know I would require like some number of years to be able to come up to speed,
yeah.
coming from the fact that I didn't understand anything about cybersecurity. So it was a challenge. Will I adjust? Can
Mm,
I learn these new things and all? So there was pressure at the beginning. And
okay.
because of that pressure, what I did was I just channeled it towards gaining as much.
Mm,
I was now seeking for knowledge. I was hungry for knowledge.
wow.
So I would like work all day, stay up at night,
Mm,
try to like read online, try to study online. And let's just say God was behind every solid move I did. Because the
beautiful.
first 3 months I had to do a training
Okay.
in the cybersecurity firm I found myself. And it was surprising to everybody, like, who is this newbie that wants to do a training in like 3 months?
Wow.
So I had to like put the knowledge together with my confidence, like I said. That's tell you that everything works together for your good. Even though I didn't like project management job, it kind of exposed me, gave me confidence. I had like the public speaking skills. So
Um,
I was able to put that to use because the knowledge I'd already been trying to accumulate in my cybersecurity journey. And I think those were just the ways I was able to like navigate those challenges that felt like it was going to be the end,
mm,
pretty much.
that's really nice. So many things has happened behind the scene.
Yes,
And I'm sure we can't dig into all in just a few discussion. But let me ask, what kind of advice will you give to someone who is looking up to you as a mentor at the verge of changing career and so many other things? What kind of advice will you give to such?
okay, so I'm going to make this a little more. I'm going to come from like experience. So I
Okay,
actually have about like I have about two, no, like three mentees right now,
great.
and out of the three mentees, I met two. One already in a different field, and
Okay.
then the other one was like a fresh graduate, and it was supposed to be like a career mentoring team.
Mm,
And they said they didn't know what's the one in accounting said she wasn't really enjoying it. That's wanted to like switch.
okay.
Why the other one said she just a fresh graduate. She doesn't know what next. And it kind of reminded me of when I graduated from school then, because everybody just comes to the question, what next? And you're just very blank.
Yeah.
But I was very invested. And what I did first was I tried to identify their strength and their weakness. So to everybody that is aspiring to also change career path, I think the first thing you need to do is identify your strengths and identify your weakness.
You
That
be-
was the first thing I did. So after I identify their weaknesses, for some reason I just felt like that needed to be worked on first
Mm,
before going ahead to pursue whatever it is that you wanted to pursue. So, I had to work on their weakness first. I had some that were not very comfortable talking to people because they just felt like nobody's going to help them. And I
mm,
said, you have to actually speak up. People are actually ready to help you. You
mm,
just need to ask for it because if you don't, you would not get it. So, a lot of building of confidence, that was the background work that had to be done first. So
mm,
after that, okay, let's now understand your strengths. From your strengths, let's draw out what would suit what career path would your strengths suit based on the strengths that you
I
have.
love.
And then we're able to like narrow it down to like three career paths. And then from there, we're like, okay, now you need to make a decision.
Mm,
Out of these three career paths, which one would you rather go for?
mm,
And then they had to pick the career path that they wanted to go for. So we started the research from there,
beautiful.
trying to see what community can you join, what book
Mm,
can you read, what. So I mandated them to always read something about that field every week and actually make a post on it on like their LinkedIn account
mm,
to just try to attract people of like minds to what they were trying to do. And
mm,
then join communities. And I was like, speak up. Don't hesitate and tell anybody
mm,
that cares to listen to you that you're looking for a role in this particular field.
mm.
And then it kind of helped because I mean, in like less than three months, the two of them both got a job
Wow.
in like the new field that they wanted to go. And I was just very happy. So to everybody that's aspiring to make a career change, it's such a daring situation. I get it. You're going to be scared. You're
Mm,
going to feel like, do I know what I'm doing? There's going to be a lot of pressure. But what I'll just tell you is don't just dabble into it with no knowledge at all. I think first off, make your research. After you've done your research, you need to try to speak to one or two persons
mm,
about it. Try to hear their view as well, because sometimes what you read online is just very abstract. You need to speak to somebody that's actually experiencing it. By the
beautiful.
way, I think I remember speaking with you before I took this job.
That's true. That's
I
true.
don't remember now. I remember speaking with you before I took this
That's
job
true.
as well.
That's true.
So just try to speak to two or more people just to get their factor, and then be ready for a ride, because you're going from something you do not know or something you know a little to
Yeah.
something you don't know at all.
Excellent.
So your 24 hours is the same for everybody. However, you have to find a way to make good use of your 24 hours more than every other person. If you
Mm,
need to burn the midnight candles, you might have to do that just
wow.
to like bring yourself up to speed as much as possible. But then the whole summary of this is you need to believe in yourself,
Beautiful.
because if you do not believe in yourself and you have like cold feet, then
Mm,
you will never achieve that transition you want. So
beautiful.
first up, believe in yourself, and I think that's like the first thing to have. Then you're ready to go.
Wow. This is really interesting. This is really, really interesting. Thank you very much, Okoyemi, for sharing uh, this brief out of your wealth of experiences. It's really been nice engaging with you today. I was almost going to ask you to talk about uh, people who tend to give up easily or who say, I can't. Just trying to draw lessons from the challenges you are able to overcome, especially with your career switch. For you, it's not a totally new, different terrain. You have a slight background. Yeah, but when people say I can't, it limits. It doesn't make one progress. So maybe you will just say one or two things to just nail that on the head and just add that also with your parting words.
Okay. So I would say that I can't, I can't. Who came up with the word I can't actually? I think I can't is more like a personal word. You came up with it. So why are you self-limiting yourself?
Mm,
I'll just give like a very quick story. So my first year at when I switched to cybersecurity, like I said, my company provides like certification exams. So I wrote one exam that very first year, and then I failed.
wow.
This is me that was born in midnight candles. I failed. And
Mm,
then I cried so much, it pained me so much. And I was like, I'm not used to failure.
mm.
So I mean, you would know that sad I'm not used to failure. The very first time I had like there was a display in front of you. So
Mhm.
so I'm not very used to failure. So it broke me and I became very sad. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to come on this
Mm,
session and sound all perfect like I had it figured out. That actually messed me up so bad that I didn't write exam for like a year and a half,
wow. Wow.
because I was scared to try. I
Again.
was like, what if I fail again?
Mm,
What if I fail again?
mm,
And my boss would always say, okay, me, you need to write this exam. You can't just have the knowledge. If you
mm,
go for another interview elsewhere, someone else would have an edge over you.
mm,
So it was like a push, because you failed once. You don't have to be scared. I've also failed
mm,
exams before. So it was always pushing me. I
mm.
would say, I'll write it, sir. I'll write it, sir. I'll not end up writing. And then I had to start writing exam like a year plus ago,
Mm,
because there was a need for it.
mm,
And then the very first exam, I was so scared, because
mm,
that was like the first one after the one I failed. And
mm.
then I wrote it. I told everybody in my house, I was like, you people should go and pray. And then I wrote it and I passed. And I
Mm.
wrote another exam and I passed.
Wow.
And I wrote another exam and I passed. And I've written
Wow.
like quite a number of
Wow.
exams and I passed. And the only thing that could just like let me know is 1.5 years I didn't write any exam was just me limiting myself. Nobody was limiting me.
Wow.
Because of one failure, I scared to take like the next step, then
Mm,
do you know how much more you're losing by
mm,
just succumbing to failure?
mm,
So there's something like I can't. I can't is simply that you're telling yourself that you're not capable, you
mm,
don't have the strength at all. And I think everybody deserves much more than that. You wouldn't always get it 100% every time, which is fine. And trust me, it's actually part of the process. I
mm.
mean, my story wouldn't be sweet now if I didn't tell you I failed one exam. If I
Yeah.
told you I've been writing the exam for the beginning and I've been passing,
Mm,
okay, that's fine, thank
mm,
you. But yes, I failed one exam and then it made every other story interesting. So you wouldn't get it right every time. That's one thing everybody needs to know. You're going to make some mistakes.
mm.
But then they are supposed to propel you into trying to do other. If you fail again, you try again. If you
Beautiful.
fail again, you try again. There's something like you can't. Everything that you require to excel has even been given to you before you were formed,
Mm.
according to God. So there's nothing like you can't. What you have to excel is in you. You just need to find it.
Wow.
So parting words would be I think I already incorporated my parting words should be never give up. You have all
Yeah.
it takes. I
Mm.
was telling somebody last year, I said if I'm going to give you something this year, I'm just going to tell you 3 words, which is just do it.
Just do it.
Even if it doesn't make sense, just do it.
Wow.
You never know.
Wow.
So
Thank you very much, Okoyemi, for coming on board today. It's really nice engaging and talking to you.
you're
And I
welcome.
know it's just the beginning also for you on your path to greatness. We are watching you on 5D now, not 3D, on 5D.
Thank you, Sarah. It's nice to have people like you watch me. It's a motivation.
That's
So
right.
thank you, Sarah. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So have a great time.
Thank you.
Yeah.